Okay, friends, so we are live now, and I am trying to stream this live and also do the commentary at the same time. So there is some problem right now with the streaming. Let me just check. Okay, friends, so we are live now, and I am trying to stream this live and also do the commentary at the same time. So there is some problem right now with the streaming. Let me just check. Okay, friends, so we are live now, and I am. Okay, so here is the first game which is happening between Too Weak Too Slow and the ESG 2018. So here we can see the first few moves. So e4 e6 d4 is the French defense, e4 e6 is a French defense, and then white has started with d4 as the second move, and in d4, after d4 black has played d6, d5 is the ideal reply to d4. Let's see how the game has continued. Knight d2, knight f3, bishop e7, knight f6, c4, c6. So black is trying to go totally defensive here. He is not trying to do any activity in the center or either on the flank side. So c5 is a bit of an attack in the center. e5. So white is attacking correctly in the center right now. Bishop d6 pointing towards the h2 square on the king side. Castles, pawn takes e6. Let me just go a few moves back. e5, knight d7, pawn takes, bishop takes, e d5, castles, pawn takes e6. After pawn takes e6, black is going to be a pawn down because white is going to get two pawns now for his one pawn, d pawn, which is getting exchanged. Rook cross, knight g5. So knight g5 is again a very good move, attacking the king side, and also the rook on f7 is hanging now. So rook e7, queen f3, bishop b7, queen h3, h6, knight e6, queen d7, bishop f5. So knight is very well placed on e6. It seems to be a bit of attack, but it is well defended by bishop on f5 as well as the queen on h3. Queen c7, there is a mate threat on g2, but g2 is already defended by the queen on h3. So let's see. f3, a preventive measure. Knight b d7. Black is developing its remaining pieces. Knight e4. Now knight jumps into the center and tries to create some play. So rook f8. All black's pieces are in the game now. Rook knight takes f8. Rook knight takes f8. Bishop h6. There is an excellent sacrifice on h6. What could be the reason? G cross h6. Queen cross h6. Now there is no mate on h7. There is no mate on g7. But the f6 knight is hanging now. So knight h7, bishop cross h7, knight cross h7, and now queen cross d6. d6 bishop was hanging. So the f6 knight, if you just go back few moves, f6 knight was pinned here, d6 bishop is hanging. It's a very good move by white. So knight h7, bishop cross h7, knight cross h7, now queen cross d6, queen cross d6 and knight cross d6. So here you can see that white is already exchange up. He's also 3 pawns up, and this should be a cakewalk for white. So I think after a few moves, black has resigned here. Yes, black has resigned. So let us go ahead and check the next game, what is being played. Okay, so there was no move played over here. Okay, let's check this game. So e4, e6, French defense d4. After d4, black played d5, that is a right. reply to the d4 and knight d2. Knight d2 played by white is called as Tara's defense. It is supporting the center, also making sure that c3 is available, pawn c3, so that bishop b4 is not allowed, which happens in the whenever variation of French defense. So knight f6, e5, knight d7, f4, c5, c3. So both players are trying to make their center strong. Black is trying to attack the center by playing c5, knight c6, knight df3. So this, in this case, knight from g either goes to h3 or to the e2 square, and later on it can be developed depending upon where white wants to play. So bishop e7, bishop d3, castles, knight e2, as I said before, h3 or e2. So this knight is developed on e2, c4, bishop goes to c2, b5. In this case, if you look at the bishop on c8, black's bishop, it is a dead piece, but with the time as black advances his queenside pawns, there is a slight small opening for that bishop, using which black has to make sure that either the bishop is exchanged or it is made active. So a5, that is the general plan of black. If you are learning French defense, this is the first point that you should keep in mind, that you have to play on queen side as much as possible. There are also the games where the black plays on king side, but in this game we'll have a look at how black has continued. So f5, white is continuing his attack on the king side. b4, knight f4, pawn takes f5, bishop takes f5. Now all white's pieces, that is bishop on f5, knight on f4, knight on f3, are all lined up on the king side. This queen has to join the king side attack to make that attack successful. f5, knight e6, and this will lead to a loss in exchange. Knight will be exchanged for the rook. So queen b6, knight takes f8, bishop takes f8, e6. e6 is again a good push. e5 square is now vacant for white's knight. So knight f6, queen e2, a5, a4, sorry, bishop g5, knight e4, rook a7 should come in between to develop a defense from second rank. Pawn takes, queen takes c4, knight goes to a5, attacking the queen. Queen goes to d5. Now the a8 rook is hanging. Bishop b7, queen e5, pawn takes f3, pawn takes f3, bishop g7. Queen goes back. Now you can see that the exchange is, it's a bit of a difficult situation, because white is not having much pieces to attack, minor pieces to attack right now. He has to develop his rook first. At the same time, black's pieces are a bit of disoriented. The knight is on a5, bishops are pointing towards the opposite sides, and there is a pawn on e6 which black has to take care of. Queen e2, bishop a6, e7, rook e8 is forced, or else there will be an e8 queens. So just going back few moves. Okay, so rook e8 is forced, rook e1, f4, queen e6 check, queen takes e6, rook takes e6. This looks like a plus position for white. White should win after this. King f7, rook takes a6, knight takes b2, bishop f4, pawn takes c3, d5, and this e7 pawn was hanging. Actually, e7 could have been captured, probably yes. So bishop d4 check, c2, d6, and d6 should seal the fate, as both the passers are connected now. Bishop cross a1, rook cross a1. So these are all the moves which have been played under immense time pressure. Look at black's time. So eventually this gave away, this was played. So after king d7, white played rook d1. So king c8 was a blunder here, probably in the time pressure. King c8 should not have been played. Instead of that, black could have played bishop to e5, attacking the d6 pawn, and he could have captured the d6 pawn on the next move, also the e7 pawn, and he could have won easily thereafter. Okay, let's go back and check the next game. We have few comments from here. So Rancho Chaiwala says, hello sir, it is a request from my side that please do not play games using different openings. Start a series of different openings like French, English, Sicilian, etc. for us variations. Okay Rancho, we'll take care of that. I'll try to reply on that comment. I'll take that comment into the notes. So right now let's go back to the games. So this is a very good game. So Bombay Rocker, that is 1930 for the rating, and Too weak, too slow is 2-0, 2-0. There is a variation here. So e4, e6, c3. c3 is very rarely played. And let us see what formation did we see in this game. It looks like that this might go into Sicilian. So d5, e takes d5, pawn takes d5, d4, knight f6, knight f3, bishop d6, bishop d3. So this is a symmetrical openings, and here the placement of minor pieces will be very important in symmetrical openings. One whose minor piece is placed correctly gets a slight advantage. This is a very good middle game point that everyone has to remember, that while playing the symmetrical openings, make sure that your minor pieces are better than your opponents, the placement of those minor pieces. So here black has a bit of f6 was hanging actually after bishop cross h6, hence white has gone for bishop cross h6, bishop h2 check, king h1, g cross h6, and queen cross f6. So this has led to a weakened castle position for black, and can white was probably missed, provided that he doesn't. Okay, g7. So here you can pause the video if you're not looking at a live stream now. You can pause the video later on. You can figure out what should be the exact plan for white to win from here. Black of course has to attack the pawns, or he should try to create a fortress which should not be easy to break. But I think even if bishop c1 is played, both the pawns can be play c4 and then d4 pawn. Okay, so black has opted to capture the c4 pawn first. So 3 versus side and 2 versus 1 on king side. White holds the advantage here. Now he just has to take his rook back to probably the second rank and push the pawn in the h file. That should give an easy win. Right, so black will just try to create a passer there on the queen side by pushing his a and b pawns, while white should try to play on the king side, and this bishop is gone. So this is the problem, guys. So in time pressure, most of the players are ignoring the pin, the forks, and your skewers. So you have to take care of all these things. So this position, it's not the problem of this bullet games, it is the problem of the presence of mind. You have to develop your presence of mind so that you don't give away your pieces so easily, and you put up a good fight. That is the reason why we are having the bullet tournaments, and you should play bullet tournaments to get yourself acquainted with the pressure situations like this. Okay, so too weak, too slow versus Raghubar Tyagi. I think too weak, too slow has played. Okay, so d4, d5, e4, e6, d4, d5. This is a actually exchange variation of French defense where white exchanges the pawns on d5, e takes d5, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5, bishop e7. So this is again one of the symmetrical games that you might see when the d5 pawn is exchanged. Okay, so this is going to be an exciting game. Both players are going blazing on the opposite side castles. These games are very sharp, wherein we have the opposite side castles. You can see many games in dragon variation wherein white goes for the Yugoslav attack, and he goes full force attack on king side with by playing g4 h4. At the same time, black has to maneuver his minor pieces correctly on the queen side and the center to give a counter reply, and queen moves like queen a5 and sacrifice on c3 by playing rook c8 is more frequent in the dragon variation where the opposite side castlings are seen. So both openings wherein I mean not just the dragon variation, even in this case this game is going to be very sharp. Both players have to be precise. Right now both players don't have open files as of now. When the kings are on the opposite sides, you have to make sure that you open up the opponent's castle as soon as possible. And right now there is no open file on either castles in either of the castles. So now c4 is a bit of annoying knight. What will white do? Will he capture the knight on c4, or he should play queen c1, or will he transfer his queen to somewhere on the king side? Yeah, that's what he played. He has transferred his queen to g2. So from g2 now he has to make sure that there is some opening of the file on either G or H file which has to open. Okay, excellent check. If B cross A3, then B cross A3, and there will be a mating threat on B2. Probably was it possible that B cross A3, B cross A3, check King C1, Queen B2, check King D2 could have been played. We need to check in detail that line. So here White has opted not to capture the knight on a3 but rather save his king in the e1 square and go for the queenside attack, kingside attack. Okay, sacrifice by black on queenside, bishop cross b2, excellent sacrifice. But black has to prove that this sacrifice works. It won't be easy. The fortress is strong, the c2 pawn is defended. How will black penetrate? Can he capture the pawn on c2? Can he capture the pawn on c2 by knight? Knight cross c2, bishop cross c2, rook cross c2. King cross c2, rook c8 check. Is that possible? Okay, knight c4 check, bishop cross c4, and then d cross h7 can be captured by pawn. Yes, h6 can be played here as well by white. But right now, so knight c4 check, a simple move on king to a1, that is a good option because bishop has to be present on d3 to attack the h7 square. That is attacking bishop. So bishop cross c4 of course should not be a good move. We have to make sure that this white's bishop pair, that is d3 and f4, are lined up against black's castled king. Once the castle opens up, there should be some good tactics for white. I think white will play h6 now or pawn cross h7. Okay, now there is a mate threat on g7 and it is being defended by queen f6 check as well. So that's a good option. Pawn takes c3, bishop c2 should be played, or else there could be a c2 devastating check. Yes, bishop c2, correct. Can white play h6 now to put the pressure on king side? Okay, now okay, that is a very good attack. Bishop, he has to deflect black's queen. If the black queen is deflected, there could be a mating chance on g7. Okay, so e5, bishop f6, king h7, and nothing thereafter. Queen takes queen, pawn takes. Yeah, that should simplify the things. White should be happy here. White just has to take care of the e pawn now. Once the e pawn falls, it would be difficult. f5 can be played. Can f5 be played now? Okay. So bishop takes g7. If we keep bishop takes g7 back and play f5, there could have been some tactics. Okay. So the only way to win for black is now to concentrate and to save his e pawn. That's a miss. That's a miss from white side. Okay. So no problem. I think black has won here on time. Okay, let's go back to the next game wherein B is leading the tournament right now. Okay, so e4, e6, knight f3. Again, a variation here, not following the main line of d4. F3, d5. Black has to hit the center. If you're playing from black side, if you're learning French defense, this is the right way to hit the center. d5, e takes d5, e takes d5. Bishop b5 check should not be good. c6, bishop d3, bishop d6, c4. So white is going completely out of book here. He's trying to surprise black, but I think white might get surprised himself if he doesn't. There is a mate on h7. Bishop h7, queen takes d3. Okay, that is a good defense. Bishop d3. So this is again a very good way to defend. If you look here, there was a mate threat on h7. If bishop cross f6, queen cross f6, there is a mate on h7. But the way black is defended, it is a very good technique. So what black is played is bishop c7. So if bishop cross f6, then first black can go for queen cross d3, bishop cross d3, and then g cross f6. The mate is saved. Also the queens are off the board. Knight c3, rook d1, knight d7, knight e4, knight e5, knight e5, fe5, knight f6 check, King at g7, knight cross h7. Rook cross d3 is possible. Yes, rook cross d3, rook cross d3. King cross h7, rook a d1, king g7, king g7, g3, rook h8. So in this case, two bishops will be always strong against these two rooks. Position is open as well as the king is under attack. Both bishops have been pointing towards white's king side. In such cases, it becomes difficult to handle. Yeah, and the exchange is now gone. Okay, so here black wins. Oh, white won actually on time probably. Yeah. So going back to the next game, let's see Chakradev's game. He is not playing any game now. We're in B. Yeah. Okay. So E4, E6, F4. Again a new uh, variation, or we can say that some moves which we haven't seen before when playing in the French defense. So probably this tournament could be a great example of how not to play the French defense, or you can also take some positives from this game. Actually, let's see how uh, white has played. So E4, E6, F4, NC6, NF3, D5. Again, that is the correct way to hit the center. Probably knight should be developed late in the game on C6 so that you can play C5 before you play knight C6. Bishop C5, D4, Bishop B6, C3, F6. F6 is again should not be hurried, but okay. Bishop D3, F5, castles H6. This could be a bit tricky because now H5, Queen H5 threat becomes fatal. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So this diagonal, when you weaken your diagonal, this f7 diagonal by playing moves like h6, it becomes difficult to handle because bishop g6 check once allowed, it will be difficult to survive because there is no way this knight on g8 can be developed now, and all the pieces white will get sufficient time to develop his pieces and put more pressure on your king. Yes, this is the way. This is the g6 is actually a hole. So before playing h6, make sure that you are already castled or there is no hole created on the g6 square. So rook f3, knight f3, gf3, rook f3. White seems to be winning here completely. Okay, rook doubles and knight probably has to go back. Can knight in a knight takes e5 is available, but knight takes e5, white can pin the knight and capture it for free on the next move. Queen f7. This should seal the game now. Yep. Queen's off the board. Rook c7 check. Rook cross g7. c5. But this is not going to help you. 6. h3. Knight probably will go to. Okay, he's sacrificing the knight. This is clear winning for right now. Okay, so this is completely winning, but still white has to make sure that, yeah, now just h7 and h8 should be game over for black. So that, yeah, now just h7 and h8 should be game over for black. Okay, now let's go back and check the next game. Last 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes remaining. Chakradev is leading the tournament. Union B versus Chakradev. Okay, the game has just begun. That's good. So e4, e6, knight f3, d5. This is again going to be a symmetrical opening. As I said before, in symmetrical openings, your minor pieces play a key role. Make sure that your minor pieces are better placed than your opponents. Okay, takes g3, queen h3, bishop g4, queen g2, f3, bishop h. Oh, so that's bishop cross g2, and then bishop cross f1. Black will be okay, that's a mate on h2. So just a simple miscalculation by white probably. Okay, let's go back and check the next game. Okay, let's see this. Again, e4, e6, f4. This, I think King's Gambit players will like this move against any opening. French, Karokan, if anyone, if you play e4, the King's Gambit player is going to play f4 no matter what the opponent plays. Okay, so this is the right way to play from black side. So e4, e6, f4, d5, e5, c5. c5 is important before you play knight c6. In previous game, we saw black playing knight c6 before c5. But you should play c5 first and then play knight c6. This gives you a better control over the center and good activity and space in the queen side. Okay, bishop e7. Probably this will be the last game for today's live broadcast, as just 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining now. But let's complete this game no matter if even if the tournament ends. So now d4 has to be put, yes, so that's how black should play. d4 is under pressure. Bishop e3 is not available because of the knight on f5. Knight is covering the good squares on from f5, and this knight e4 move is a bit tricky. What it does is that c5 now can be captured by knight if possible, yes, and bishop. If you capture by bishop, then this good bishop is gone. Okay, now how will black continue here? Bishop a6, that was the dead piece. Rook has to be played to f2, no, e1, and black probably will put his both the rooks on b and c file, b8 and c8, and try to attack. Yes, the rook is coming to c8 now. Let's check how the white responds. White should play on the right. That's what I was saying to say. He should create some play on the king side. Yeah, now bishop on e3 and his bishop will be activated. Yes. So now white should get a better position. Rook c1 probably. Oh, should not have given entry to the rook. Okay, but now black is in the white's territory. So this knight has to be activated now somehow. This knight should come somewhere in the game, or else white will hold the upper hand. So knight on d4 is a very good knight. He is not allowing black rook to enter the c file. Black has to decide quickly what is he going to do about the knight on e7. Now white has to create a passer on the king side, queen side, sorry, not the king side, by pushing his a and b pawn. That will put pressure on black because black king is in the. Okay, so white tries to not go for the passer on the king queen side, but to rather play safe and attack the e6 pawn. Okay, that's a miss. That's a miss from black. The piece was hanging. Probably black is under time pressure. Okay, so black has given up here. He's just playing for the time. Okay, so players and viewers, I hope you liked this video, and do mention in the comments if you have any more questions or any more suggestions. Whatever things you like to see about chess, you can mention in the comments. I will definitely take notes of those, and in coming days I will try to give solutions of whatever suggestions you give or whatever questions you have. There are few chats going on. I would say hi to all of them. Good to see all the people active in the chat as well. We have Aditya Srivastav saying hello, and yeah, he was enjoying the stream as well. So there is a suggestion from Rancho Chaiwala. So Rancho, yeah, I have read your comment about the openings. I will get back to on that. We have one comment from Shriram Chakradev. Hi Shriram Chakradev, good to see you on the YouTube. So this game should end in some time now. So tournament has already ended, but we are just waiting for this game to be finished. Probably now in next five moves, white should win. Yep, and just push the a pawn now. There will be a queen on 8 square. Yes, simplest way. So that's over game. So that was the last game of the tournament, and we will have the winners now. The winners are Chakradev is first. Chakradev is playing outstanding game. Second is Viren B. Viren is also playing a very good game. In last few tournaments, we saw him winning very good games. And Gavish is a regular player. Congratulations to Gavish as well. Gavish has also won many of our tournaments. And yes, I can see comment from Gavish as well. Hi Gavish. Hello everyone. Hey everyone. Gavish says hi Gavish. Good to see you winning third place now today. You're getting first places even in the last few tournaments. You got the first place. Congrats for that. Good games. And I hope this watching this footage or watching this live games, this will be recorded. So whoever players are listening now, they if they want to share and they want to learn something about French defense, they can go through this video again and again, and you can put your suggestions as I said before. And so we will soon have more opening tournaments, and let's see how we enjoy the upcoming tournaments. So that's all for today, guys. Bye bye. Take care and good night.